Growing up in Mafikeng prior 1994, there were other things that we didn't know in terms of our social programs that were happening in our communities. Most of us were not exposed to such. We were not exposed to have such dialogues concerning social problems like we are having today, social cohesion and whatsoever. So it was more of a regime that actually was telling people what they need and whatsoever, without really, which was not governed by the people. So basically that's what from my experience from prior that until now, that's how I differentiate it. Well, it's in Mafikeng it was police raids, frequent police raids. I was still very young by that time. I was living with my grandmother, who was brewing alcohol, home brewed alcohol, for us to can go to school, pay some. So in our neighborhood, police would come at early hours of the morning when we were supposed to go to school. They would just raid without actually having much of human rights, respect to human rights and whatsoever. So those are some of the things that I can still remember from the regime, continuous police raids and being told what to do. Like, there's another incident when I visited Taung when I was still young. I experienced donkeys being shot because of them. It was supposedly said that they were creating accident on main roads and they were actually contributing to overgrazing and whatsoever, which was an environmental problem. So, things like human rights, events like those, base of police invasion and that, to me, it reflected, as a humanitarian, I saw it as no respect to human rights and also animal rights. Because I don't think in the New South African you can just be allowed to shoot donkeys and whatsoever. Yeah.
Now, 20 years down the line, do you think South Africa has really achieved what freedom and democracy was meant to achieve? Or if there are any challenges that the country as a whole is facing, what would you say those challenges are and how can we resolve them?
The most persistent problem, social problem that we as South Africans have always had is based on social economy. That's the main thing. That's why we have seen uprisings, we have seen change of regimes and whatsoever, so that it could address the social economic of the people, of the broader people. So until now, even if you look in the records today, the statistics, social economy still stand as a problematic thing, which transcend apartheid regime till now. People are still poor, people still don't have enough shelters and whatsoever. But then the government now, after post-1994, the government is actually trying, though it can't be entirely appreciated, but at least prior 1994, it's trying to reach out to the people and try to address some of these issues, in terms of, job creations, which is also problematic, but they're actually trying to work on that and whatsoever. So I think we also as a people, to elevate ourselves and, eradicate ourselves, resurrect ourselves from this problematic social aspect, is that we also should also be able to can be in a position to forge a way forward for ourselves without necessarily having to wait for some policy conference which have been drafted for people to do this and whatsoever. We should also be able to implement what we can use. As a student of indigenous knowledge system, I'm actually stating that Africans always use what was available in the environment to address whatever condition and situation that we're facing them.